In the last video, we went for a walk around the Bishop's Palace in Wells. Now we're off to explore Wells Cathedral. To get there, we have to pass beneath Penniless Porch. The cathedral is unmissable, grand and spectacular. Everything you'd expect of a medieval statement piece. Prepare yourself, there's going to be a lot of ceiling pans in this video. I will not apologise. Ceilings in cathedrals are stunning. How people manage to make huge hunks of stone look so delicate and fragile. In 705 AD, King Ine of Wessex built a church on this spot, dedicated to St Andrew, and a small monastic community grew up around it. In the 10th century, so the 900s, the church was expanded and became the seat of the Bishop of Wells. Construction of the main cathedral began in 1175 and took over 300 years to complete, with additions and extensions being added right up until the English Civil War, after which additions turned to restorations. Today it's considered an outstanding example of early English Gothic architecture. This is John Still, who is now very still, Master of St John's College and Trinity College, Cambridge, and Bishop of Bath in the 1500s. And this is Elizabeth Kidder, who died, along with her husband, the Dean of Peterborough, when a chimney collapsed on them in the Bishop's Palace during a storm. Certainly an interesting choice of poses. You often find cathedrals used as the backdrop for art exhibitions, and there's a contemporary exhibition on at the moment. These oyster shells have been filled with resin or glass and left on the steps. Ooh, time for another pan. Look at this cheeky chappy. Continuing up to the top of the steps, we entered the chapter house. I would never have found this if Marilyn hadn't shown me the way. The staircase is easy to miss. It was quite breathtaking to step into this huge room full of light. The room was completed in 1306 as a place for officials of the church to meet and plan their daily business. These ink blots are part of the art exhibition. The piece is titled Corpus by artist Cheryl Lewis and is meant to represent the complexity and interconnectedness of life. I suppose how two things formed of the same material can be uniquely different yet similar. This is apparently the coat of arms of James I. Dieu et mon droit, God and my right, the motto of all English monarchs. This is a particularly striking piece of artwork called Hear No Evil by Anna Gillespie. I'll leave her website below. Apparently the windows used to be stained glass, but they were smashed in by the Cromwellians during the Civil War. I quite like the clear daylight coming through them now. There are faces carved above each of the seats. This one reminds me of Shakespeare. Wells was captured by the Roundheads in 1645. The Cromwellians had a habit of defacing statues and cutting off the noses of royalist tomb effigies. See my video about Cottersbrook Church for more on that. It looks like this tomb of Ralph Shrewsbury, Bishop of Bath and Wells, was one of their victims. He seems to be missing his nose and he's been heavily graffitied. This is Guiso of Lorraine, chaplain to Edward the Confessor in the 11th century. Considered a shrewd politician, he was one of only 2 bishops to retain his position during the Norman conquest of Britain. He may have held on to his position, but he seems to have lost his hands. Oops, time for another ceiling pan. Check out this stained glass. That really is something. Here's a really interesting tomb. This is Bishop Thomas Beckington, who supplied the town with water in the last video. But what I find fascinating is the second figure below. When a tomb effigy is shown as decaying and corpse-like, it's called a transi. It's a colossal memento mori, a reminder of the fleeting transience of life. Visually very striking. And also slightly disturbing, like this piece of modern art. I didn't notice it until I was standing right next to it, and it gave me quite a start. It's called All That I Am by Joanna Cohen, a modern-day transi. Another huge feature of the cathedral is a rare astronomical clock. This was believed to have been installed around 1390 and built by a monk from Glastonbury. The dial tracks 24 hours of the day, as well as the cycle of the moon. The clock chimes every quarter of an hour, and on the hour, this happens. This is St Martin's Chapel, an area of the cathedral dedicated to those who lost their lives in the First World War. The woodwork on this piece is incredibly intricate. Here's another damaged effigy. What's even worse is they defaced his dog. You often find dogs and lions at the foot of tombs, symbolising loyalty and vigilance, watching over the deceased. I'm not too sure about this gentleman. Is it me, or are the cherubs a little bit creepy? The intricacy of the marble carving is incredible though. Wells also has an impressive organ, dating from 1857. It has around 4,000 pipes, with the smallest being the size of a pencil and the largest being 16 feet long. This is a view from the pew. The green book is the New English Hymnal, and the red one is the Book of Common Prayer. This is the lectern for reading the Bible. Eagles are a popular choice for church lecterns throughout the country. Definitely some impressive chairs over here. Don't think they came from IKEA. After all of that exploring, we were getting a bit peckish, so it was off to the cafe. They have a lovely tea room at Wells. You can sit by the window and enjoy the view, or check out the knitted cakes. Then it was outside to admire the front of the cathedral. It is absolutely stunning. If you take a walk around the back, you'll see another clock. This is actually the reverse side of the clock we were looking at earlier. This one is less elaborate and was added much later. And one final stop on the way out, Vicar's Close. According to the sign, this is the most complete example of a medieval street in the UK and is over 650 years old. People still live here today. It's home to the cathedral's choristers, vergers and organist. When we took a look, we heard a piano being played, so it's a very musical street. After that, we took a wander back to the car park. One of the nicest things about summer in this part of the world are the strawberries. Cheddar is a town in Somerset that is famous for cheddar cheese, which is where it originated. But Cheddar is also famous for growing wonderful strawberries. You can stop off at one of the roadside sellers and buy them. Today we're at Warren's Fruit Farm, which sells strawberries and a wide range of fruit and veg. They grow everything in greenhouses, which are only a few yards from the shop. Talk about fresh. Another cute thing is that you can see Glastonbury Tor from here. This is considered to be one of the most mystical sites in England, full of folklore about druids and King Arthur. After we'd bought our strawberries, we decided to head back through Cheddar Gorge. Gorge is another word for canyon, and this one was formed from limestone during an ice age 2 million years ago. When the ice melted, it left behind a deep gorge and an extensive cave system. Driving up through the gorge is quite spectacular, with towering rocks on either side of a narrow road. In 1903, the remains of a man were found in the gorge. He was dubbed the Cheddar Man and dated to be around 10,000 years old. To date, he remains the oldest complete human skeleton found in Britain. Our very final stop on the way home. This little car park sits opposite a big lump of rock. It's known as the Rock of Ages. The legend goes that Reverend Augustus Toplady was walking one day when a terrible storm hit. He sheltered from the storm in the cleft of the rock. Whilst huddling there and waiting for it to pass, he was inspired to write the hymn, The Rock of Ages. It became one of the 4 great Anglican hymns of the 19th century, much beloved by King George III. For Bridgerton fans, yes, that was the mad one. It seems strange that he chose to shelter against the rock when there are perfectly good toilet facilities just across the car park. And with that said and done, we headed home. If you've enjoyed exploring the cathedral with me, please consider a like and subscribe, and check out my previous video on the Bishop's Palace.